Hi, welcome to Exploring Illusion of Free Will. My name is George Ortega. I'm here with my co-host Enel. Enel, good to see you again. Okay, now this is episode number 102, Free Will versus No Free Will Interactions. What this show is going to be about is like how it's advantageous to us personally as a society to get that we don't have free will, so we'll treat each other and ourselves better. But before we get into this, as we do in every show, because this is what this show is about, this is like the biggest thing ever. We explain what people mean when they say they have free will, why free will is impossible. And let's get a bit more into that in this show in terms of like causality and all, just go into, we haven't done that in a while. And then like why this is the biggest thing in the entire universe, ever. All right, so like let's start with, when people say they have free will, what do they mean?
I'll let you do it this time. So what do we mean, because I was, what do we mean by free will?
All right. Free will means, it's an absurd, incoherent notion, but it means we would be able to decide anything we decide on our own. Now, I'll tell you why it's impossible, because like when we make decisions, okay, we're basing it on stuff. Does it make sense? Is it something that's possible? Is it a good thing to do? All this stuff. All this stuff we learned. We learn through life. And we don't get to choose what we learn in life. In other words, if we're born to certain parents, if we're raised, go to a certain school and stuff, nothing of that is up to us, all right? So we've got all this stuff in our mind that we're basing our every decision on, and it's not up to us. So obviously, if what we're basing the decision, any decision is not up to us, the decision can't be up to us. There's more ways of explaining that.
Everything has a cause, and that cause has a cause, and that cause has a cause.
That's all right. That's the simple way.
And you did not self-cause yourself. You were born by your parents, so conceived.
And here's
and you didn't control what your mother ate or smoked while you were in the womb. So the first cause is the beginning of the universe. But in any human life, the cause starts, at conception, and then it's cause and effect, cause and effect. And you can't get out of it.
Exactly. And think about
this.
How
could you?
I know you can't. It's impossible.
What would a free will decision even look like?
That's true, because that's why I said it was incoherent. A free will decision would be a decision
not based on causality.
It's not based on anything, not based on any reason. That's impossible. It's logically incoherent.
Yeah, I can't even
make sense.
Fictitiously make one up that would make any sense.
No.
Except I would be a Russian submarine captain tomorrow. I mean, something like that. No causality. I'm not trained. I'm not Russian.
Right.
I don't know how to drive a submarine.
I know, it'd be nonsensical.
Or if I said I
totally logical. All right, so like
you would make a great chef in France tomorrow. I think you should just go to France and become a chef.
Right. I have a free will. I'm going to be a French chef on the Riviera or something. Absolutely.
But you're not French. You don't know how to cook, and you don't live in the. I mean,
there you go.
How would that happen?
I know.
Oh, but you have a free will.
Right. All right. I want to go just one more time into this causality thing because, like,
I just want to say one other thing. If there were free will, and you say some decisions are free will and some aren't, how would you know which ones are free will and which ones aren't? How do you even know?
That's a good point. Let's go with that, because like some people say, all right, fine, I don't have complete free will, but I can freely choose some things.
I have a little free will.
Right. So let's say, all right. So then you ask them, all right, what of what you have free will? Give me an example. So they might say, all right, well, I went to the restaurant the other day and I ordered a Coke instead of a Pepsi. And like they think that's their free will decision. And now explain to them why.
Well, first of all, we get this call all the time. People say I make decisions. Making decisions doesn't mean there's free will. Is this the camera?
Yeah.
It has to be free decisions.
Yes, free.
So just because you make a decision doesn't. We all make decisions. Computers, animals, and robots make this. They're just not free of causality.
Right.
And let's get to the topic now.
All right. So the
topic today is. I just want to say, I'll let you talk. Why not having free will, or free will versus why it's better for our everyday interactions.
Absolutely.
Why it's advantageous.
Okay, you're driving along the road, somebody cuts you off, okay? You were feeling really, really great. You're going and whatever. Somebody cuts you off. On the free will perspective, oh man, like you get angry at the person. You might honk at them, you're directing your anger toward the person, right? Now, that's if you believe you have free will. What happens if you understand that absolutely that person who cut you off had no choice but to do that? So what's the response to that?
I wouldn't hate the person. I would just, I guess, fear them a little bit. I wouldn't want to be near a car that just cuts me off, but I wouldn't condemn them in hell. I would pragmatically say, hey, don't do that. But I wouldn't start saying you ought to rot in hell. I wouldn't say something like that because his will wasn't free.
Exactly, because what happens is like
So I blame the situation, but not the problem. I would say it's blameless responsibility. I'd make him responsible, especially if he cut me off and I got in an accident, but I wouldn't put him in hell.
Right, and the idea is like, you know, a lot of times the reason it's important is like anger is not a pleasant emotion. We don't like to get angry. Who likes to get angry?
Right, yeah.
Sometimes but it's usually not pleasant. So what happens is like, you know, somebody does something wrong to you. You don't get angry with them. What you end up like asking yourself, wait, why is the universe doing this? And you might get angry at the universe, all right? But you want to know something? Like this show can even apply to the universe, because you could assume that the universe freely made that person cut you off or whatever, but it could.
The universe freely what?
Freely made of the universe's free will.
The universe doesn't have a free will. It's a robotic monster.
Well, good. Well,
with laws and
that's the thing, because I would prefer to feel that way. I'd prefer to see the universe as like good, but it's not all that
If
smart.
the universe had a free will, you would see an asteroid that's about to crash another, just leap over it suddenly. I mean, these all have rules.
Exactly.
It's called physics.
Yes.
And other laws of gravity and things.
Yes.
Nothing just leaps over. That's why astronomers can track a comet like, oh, it's coming back in 87 years. It's all math and science. Come on.
Exactly. And since we as physical beings...
we're in the universe. That's right.
Exactly. All right. Back to the...
Let's go to a boyfriend-girlfriend or husband-wife altercation. You did the car. Say there's a husband and a wife and they're not getting along. The topic of the show is free will versus no free will interactions. You're talking about human interactions.
Yes, absolutely.
So give me a scenario that happens every day, a domestic situation where a couple is fighting.
Okay, like the wife spent 2 hours cooking this amazing meal, you know, and the guy's like, you know, he forgot. He was like, you know, hanging out with his buddies after work, you know, and like he comes home 2 hours later.
I love this. This is going to help people, yeah.
And the wife, what the, you know, and they start going at it. Well, you did this and you did that, and they start fighting. 2 months later, they're at a lawyer's office, you know, seeking a settlement and stuff, you know. So now let's get into like that's the free will perspective. That's the free will perspective. Now if they both understood that neither of them had a free will, how would that work out?
Well, I want you to answer it.
I'll tell you exactly how it would work out.
I can answer it.
So here's the thing. If they both understand it, the wife is saying to herself, why on earth would God, the universe, delay this guy for 2 hours? He would come home, he said, honey, we got a problem. We got our marriage. We got to salvage our marriage because we've got this freaking universe that's like pitting us against each other, that's messing things up. All of a sudden, they're not fighting each other. They're on the same side fighting the universe.
Okay.
That's big.
So a free will interaction is more hateful, and it's me against you. A no free will interaction is kind of the couple on the same side. Like, how can we get the universe to get us to get along? Like, it's not I'm not blaming you, but you have to take responsibility for. I need to condition you. Yes. In other words, you came home late, and this is the first time here. Okay, so you came home late and didn't appreciate the 2-hour meal I made. Instead of blaming you, you just didn't know. You didn't act independently of your genetics and conditioning. You just didn't know that I made the meal and how important it would be for me that you come home on time. So now I'm going to not yell at you, but I'm going to compassionately talk to you about, listen, if I make a meal like this, I would really appreciate it. Yeah, it's a lot less revenge and spite and hate. Right. So there's more talking to with compassion.
They work out a deal. Yeah, maybe they'll work out a deal. Say, honey, listen.
What do I need to do to make sure you come in on time?
I understand this wasn't up to you, but like conditioning works. In other words, a lot of times we do what's right because like we seek a reward or a reward.
Right. You can either positively reinforce the husband for coming on time the next time, or if he's late, penalizing him with a negative conditioner.
Right. So that's the thing. So
like next time you come home late like that, I'm putting the food away. You're not getting. You're gonna have to fend for yourself.
Right, and they
I'm
agree
not staying here 2 hours. Yeah,
right, and they agree on it. They talk because a lot of times that's where they do it with little kids.
So the hate comes from really thinking that person's a bad person because they acted on their own free will.
Exactly.
That they decided it was their mission in life to make you miserable and screw you up.
And it's completely confused. It basically distracts the couple from addressing the real problem.
It gets rid of hate.
Well, yeah. Understanding that we don't have free will, I know. Okay, let's go with another example.
Now, you're saying in a no free will society, nobody would ever break up? That's hard to believe.
Well, no, I'm saying it'd be much more unlikely because what happens is I would say the number one reason why people break up in relationships and all is because they're ascribing free will to each other. They're saying this person is so bad, so evil and stuff, and they're so caught up in blaming each other that they don't devote any near enough energy and time and effort to actually solving what's going on. They're stuck in the blame thing. That's what I think.
Instead of looking at the person's causality and genetics, they think that person is doing something to them with their own free will. Think how malicious that would be, that person did something, instead of this acting in their nature and nurture, that they did something independent of that, chose to hurt you.
Right, and so like they're thinking like,
geez,
if you would do this to me, that means you don't love me or something.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's like they conclude based on this free will illusion that the person doesn't have positive
So not only are
feelings.
they unhappy in the marriage or relationship, they're doubly unhappy because they're blaming. I mean, without free will, you can still be unhappy in a relationship. You just don't look at it as a personal attack that someone's purposely doing towards you.
That's a good point. So let's go through a scenario. The same couple, okay, they tried the conditioning. They're not angry at each other at all, okay? They're just like trying to figure out. They're angry at the universe, they may be, but like, 2-3 months goes by, and this guy continues to he forgets. He just doesn't come home for dinner, and the woman's had it. He said, listen, I understand it's not your fault. I'm not going to blame you, but I want to find a guy who's going to come home. That's fair. The guy would understand, well, I understand, all right, so I'm going to find a woman who doesn't care whether I'm, 2 hours late to dinner. And that could work out. It could work out that way, but if it does work out that way, it would
so
be
there'll be a less acrimonious or less animosity-filled breakup.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And less spite, less revenge, yeah.
Okay, cool. You want to think of like another scenario?
Yeah, a work relationship. You're at work and you've been there for 10 years. You're the #1 employee and you don't get the raise. You were bypassed and somebody else in the office gets promoted over you, so you have fantasies of killing your boss. Say.
Perfect. Okay. Now, this fantasy that you want to kill your boss, it's completely based on this free will illusion. If you understood that your boss had no free will, that nobody has free will, it would be completely illogical for you to make that conclusion. The only logic might be
But you feel like you were bypassed for a promotion.
No, I know.
Passed by, I mean.
Right, so the idea is you go to your boss and listen.
Not blaming you.
No, yeah, listen, the universe is like threatening our business here because like the idea is like to the extent that the universe makes me feel that you're overlooking me for promotion, it's making me feel also like angry and stuff. So you basically, again, they're on the same side.
Mm-hmm. But the guy who's brokenhearted by not getting the promotion can go home and meditate and say, why is the universe not promoting me?
Exactly. Why is the universe
even though I've been there 10 more years than the other guy, whatever.
Right. Why is the universe not allowing my boss to see my value, to see that I deserve this?
So what you're really saying, this shows free will versus no free will interactions. All these human interactions are going to have a different vocabulary in the future without free will.
Absolutely.
Because everything you're saying is like wording it differently than it actually gets worded in today's world in December 6th of 2012.
Absolutely, it's like the guy couldn't think toward the boss. You are a terrible boss. You just like overlooked me. It would have to be, the universe for some reason is not allowing you to be a better boss. I mean, in other words, the language, the vocabulary couldn't include concepts of personal blame, personal.
Wait, are you agreeing with my premise? You're talking about a different vocabulary.
I think so, yeah, because
different language, whatever, vernacular, what's the word, syntax? I don't know.
It's a different, yes. In other words, with our free will...
Different connotations.
Absolutely. Our free will nomenclature, lexicon, I like the nomenclature is good. No, our free will...
vocabulary.
Way of talking to each other is to ascribe personal blame. That's like...
Or you can say, listen, Mr. Boss, you're the proximate cause of this situation. You're the representative karmic cause. But I'm not blaming you, but I have to pragmatically blame you because you're representing some harmful thing towards me. You remember you talked about proximate cause?
Right.
So it's a different vocabulary.
That's a good point. So in other words, the boss doesn't get off the hook completely.
You have to address him.
Right. So but the idea is again, if you believe in free will and you're talking to the boss, you're going to be angry at the boss, and that's going to prevent you from presenting your case systematically, logically, and effectively.
But not if you call him a representative cause.
All right, if you call him
how you address him.
What happens is all right, boss, I got a problem here. The universe is making you, because I know it's not your fault. Yeah, the universe is making you not see that I deserve this raise. we got to figure out how to, like, you know, get you to understand. Now, it could be maybe the boss really thinks that he doesn't deserve the raise, but they talk it out. But the boss is not going to be angry at the employee, at the guy for, like, coming to him, because the boss is also going to understand that they don't have a free will either, you know. So it's going to be a mutual kind of, like, respect.
The other situation is going to be a lawsuit on this. Okay, so a guy's on the street in a parked car, and another car comes and illegally, you know, sideswipes him by accident, knocks his mirror out. Okay, so he needs to get the money with free will or no free will. He wants to be reimbursed for the damage to his car.
All right,
so there has to be responsibility pragmatically.
Right, we got to come up with different examples.
So how would that happen in your world with no free will?
Let's come up with different examples.
Say it's your car.
We've got no fault. We've got no fault insurance now. So in other words, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. Like you know, it comes out of insurance, right? No fault policies, right? I mean, isn't that a law?
Yeah, but if you're not going to blame the guy, why even accost him and say, "What's your number?" Okay, so you're in your car, and I come through and slice off your mirror.
Right. Okay.
Are you going to chase me down, or?
Well,
I've done about $500 of damage to your car, say.
That's a good. Well, all right. Basically, like, yeah, let's.
And I say no, it was an accident.
You chase him down and you get him because you don't want this guy to, like, be able to, like, do that all the time and nothing happens.
What if I say it's not? Don't blame me. I don't have free will.
And he says that, so
yeah, I'll say that because you're now the king of no free will.
You chase him down, you run at, you know, and, like, because he may not, you don't know whether he may not have realized.
All right, you chase me down and say, yeah, I hit your car. I'm sorry, but I don't have free will. Leave me alone.
Right. So he says, no, but
let's play it out. It's your car. Sorry, I hit your car. I don't have free will. I've seen your show. I don't have free will. I'm sorry.
Right, and that's exactly, and because, like, the guy who hit the car would also understand that nobody has a free will.
But you're owed money at this. Okay,
right,
go ahead.
so they both know.
No, let's play it out.
Right, so, like,
interactions with no. Okay, sorry, I hit your car. I've watched your wonderful show. I don't have free will. Sorry.
I know the universe sucks. It sucks that he did this to us. I don't know why it's doing this to us. But, like, so now we got to exchange, like, the license numbers and all that stuff and go through this.
But I didn't have a free will. I didn't, you know, I'm not responsible for hitting your car.
Yes, but you understand, because this scenario is in a world where everybody gets that nobody has a free will.
Everyone gets it.
Right. So you get it, I get it, everyone gets it. So
do I just say for practical and useful purposes, here's my Geico card, here's my insurance, I'll pay for your mirror?
Yeah, because, like, basically
But I'm not responsible.
I know, but we have to kind of, like, again, hold you pragmatically
that's
accountable, right? Without blame, without acrimony, without any kind of, like,
all right,
that
so
negativity.
listen, sorry about your mirror. Obviously, I have to pay for it, but I know you're not putting me in really seriously blaming because you knew I couldn't help myself.
Right.
So I'll take care. Let me have your number. I'll call the insurance. I'll take care of the deductible, whatever, to fix your. But, you know, you're obviously not blaming. I didn't mean to do it.
Exactly.
And even if I did, I couldn't help myself.
That's the thing, and they would both get it. So, like, there would be no logical way.
Because now some guy might accost a guy and, like, start a fist fight with him or something. What the hell? Why'd you hit my car? What the hell's the matter with you?
I know,
right?
And it would be completely based on the illusion of free will.
Especially if the guy said it's not my fault, you would get really angry.
I know, it happens a lot.
All right, let's do the same thing in a free will culture.
Okay.
All right? Say, hey, dude, oh, hey, man, sorry, I hit your car there. I'm sorry, you know, I got to go.
What, are you kidding? I'm going to kill you. Let me get this bat out of the trunk.
You think it's that bad?
No.
What's the matter with you? Why didn't you see where you're going?
Don't you have any responsibility? Don't you have any sense of, like, of morality? You are a horrible person. How can you do that? You know, like, that's.
I didn't see your car there. I'm sorry. I backed up and I didn't see it.
Hey, you've got a free will, buddy. Don't tell me you didn't see it. You should have seen it. You should have seen it for your free will. What's the matter with you?
Oh, now I feel so depressed and miserable that I had a free will and I fucked up.
Well, you should feel depressed.
Oh, man, I deserve to die.
You're a horrible person.
I can't. This is the fourth car I've hit this month. I'm an idiot. I can't learn from my mistakes.
You probably don't even believe in God, do you? You deserve to suffer eternally because you
I should go to hell. I should go to hell. I can't drive my car straight anymore. I've hit 4 cars. Oh, I'm a terrible person. Suicide or maybe homicide. Maybe I'll kill this guy and he won't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's
a big difference.
Absolutely.
I'm
there
glad
you
we
go.
had that little skit.
You got this guy, you know. So that's the illusion.
How about one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
A country.
Good.
A country like does a nuclear Iran. This is free will now. We test a nuclear bomb. America doesn't like it. Free will, want to do the free will version or the no free will version?
We can start with the free will and go to no free will.
All right, so we're in free will. So I'm doing something that you don't like. I'm testing nuclear weapons in Tehran.
Okay, so, like, if, I don't think our president would do this, but the last president would say, all right, well, not only are we going to blame the leaders of this country for developing this nuclear weapon, we're going to hold accountable the whole freaking country, these millions of people, and we're just going to bomb their cities. We're going to kill 1 million of their people. That'll teach them. That'll teach them not to, do this kind of stuff.
So this act of aggression, which is being freely willed by this mad person, needs to be stopped at all costs. Invasion, whatever.
Right, and again, we're going to blame the whole country, because the whole country is responsible, because they didn't, let's say it was a dictator, because a lot of these countries were dictators.
Yeah, he's not a dictator.
So it's you have a free will. You should have overthrown this guy decades ago. If you want to remain puppets to this dictator that just want to threaten us, then we're going to hold you responsible also.
And that leader's crazy, he's mad, he's evil, he's nutty. And they say this about him anyway.
I know. And you all deserve to go to hell eternally because you got free will.
The whole country sucks.
You're horrible people, I know.
And you're evil and nutty.
Right.
And now the same thing happens with no free will. Everybody knows there's no free will. Another country's doing something that you don't want or like and you want it to stop.
Right. So now you got to understand, with no free will, the people of the United States would interact not just with the leaders, because these leaders they don't know anything, with the people of Iran, saying, listen, we've got a problem here, we feel threatened by what you're doing, and we can't.
The universe is compelling you to test nuclear weapons.
Right.
And the universe is also compelling us to feel fearful of you testing nuclear weapons. What can we do to negotiate? Because we're not blaming you, and you're not we see that you have a difference of opinion. What can we do to remedy the situation pragmatically? I'm not putting you in hell. I'm not running a cover story in the New York Post putting you in a devil's pitchfork and a red clothes and a cape, with horns.
Right. Okay, again,
because they do that. They put the leader of Iran. They'll put him on the cover like he's the devil.
I know.
I've seen that.
I know.
So we won't be doing that. We're not blaming you. We're not condemning you for help. But we need to resolve this peacefully.
Right. And when it gets into,
there's nothing crazy or sick about you. It's just a difference of opinion.
Right. When it gets to international conflict,
it
gets a lot more complicated, because for example, it's no accident that a lot of the countries we invade and stuff are poor. There's a lot of times we keep countries poor so we can get rich, inexpensive products and stuff. So basically they're saying, well, listen, we're developing this nuclear weapon because you guys are destroying the environment. We may not have water in a few years, and you think that we need to be assured survival. In other words, this nuclear weapon or whatever would be to make sure that we exist as a country, that you guys don't take all the water, all the energy.
But the difference in negotiations would be the newspapers of tomorrow, or the progressive newspapers, would not put the head of Iran on the cover connoting that he's evil or the devil.
All right, because
they've done that.
Right, and let's even backtrack.
Or the president of Venezuela, Chavez, they said was crazy, evil.
Let's even backtrack.
It's his genetics and his condition. He was raised by Iranian parents in a different time. He doesn't believe in. He wants to kill gays, by the way. He doesn't. He doesn't. Women don't really have great rights in Arabia. But that's just the way they're not evil. That's just. In Saudi Arabia, I don't even think women drive cars, for example.
Dude,
but they're not evil. That's just a different perspective.
I know. It's around the world. The reason
How about women can only show their eyes?
I'm wearing this shirt, this vegan sweatshirt, because we're all, if we had a free will, we'd be all completely evil for the way we treat animals. Every country in the world. You wouldn't believe it. But getting back to this Iran thing, all right. The idea is we forgot this premise. We're saying you're saying that the United States would be fearful of Iran for developing nuclear.
Fearful, but not hateful.
Right. No. But the idea is if the premise is if nobody believed in free will,
let's do it that way.
Then Iran and the United States would not have an adversarial relationship to begin with. Because I know sometimes you think that all right, there's a limited available resources and we're going to fight about them. But a lot of that fighting has to do with the free will thing. In other words, one country says, well, we are in the United States and this is where all these natural resources are. So we, are extracting them. It's our, free will efforts that are leading to it. So basically what I'm saying is, it's the free will perspective that creates the animosity and the fear and stuff that ultimately leads to all this stuff.
So in the no free will world of the future, with all the newspapers understanding that from the beginning of time when they were born, they wouldn't perpetuate the hate that goes on through childhood by putting the evil guy on the cover, and then you grow up totally different, so there would be a much more, by the time you became adults and that president, both presidents were raised without free will, they wouldn't hate each other to begin with.
Exactly. All right.
So we're just intersecting one example, just switching it to. But the president of Iran and the American people all believe in free will, so there's a hateful culture.
Yeah.
But if you grow up with progressive newspapers of tomorrow who don't put them on the cover as evil people.
You want to know something? Free will, the belief
So
in free
every
will.
time you put a ruler of another country in your paper and call them evil, you're doing a disservice to mankind.
Let's address that before
Right?
we end. Yes.
Yeah, a minute and a
But
half.
this free will illusion might actually be more dangerous to society, to the future civilization, than climate change. Because we'll kill
That's
each
right.
other before the climate kills us.
There'll
All
be
right.
a nuclear war because
So
of it. Say,
let's-
oh, you look what you did to me. Look what you're testing that. Yeah.
Right. So all right, let's go to the headlines. Like Madoff. Burn in hell, rot in hell. With
Or
some
Sandusky.
pedophile.
Yeah.
Rot in hell. Okay, these newspapers do this. That's what happens. Like it creates hate. It gets people hating each other.
Sensationalizing,
And,
yeah.
Like let me tell you something. When you hate somebody, when you see somebody like something in a magazine, and then you see some friend or somebody down the street, that connection's been made. You're gonna like take that hate and just like spread it to other
And they did that with Madoff and Sandusky. Said
Right.
rot in hell. Yeah.
All right, so obviously, like if everybody
If it
understands,
said Sandusky the pedophile, what's the causality here to avoid it in the future? Instead of putting him as rotting in hell, then people wouldn't hate the guy. They would just want to correct him and say how unfortunate his fate is that he was the scapegoat and got busted for this addiction.
exactly,
He was clearly addicted.
and a lot of times the free
And
will,
Madoff was addicted too.
The
He
free
couldn't
will
get out of it.
perspective like puts responsibility on the individual. Where the no free will says, well, what are we doing
Society.
as a culture?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got sex all over the place. We got these like 11-year-old models in like lingerie, just like all this stuff, and there's like the moral responsibility shifts to society a lot. All right, we've got like 20 seconds, so like this is important. This is important. In other words, like free will, I think really is a very, very, very destructive mindset for our world.
Belief.
Yes. All right, we got 10 seconds. Is
If
that
I
it?
had a free will, I would know exactly what to say right now.
Absolutely. And if we had a free will, CNN, we belong on your network every night to the entire world.